and welcome back to the next instalment of the Bandit headlight replacement. Now, I've had a little chance to mock up where the headlamp shell needs to go, and it's honestly a little bit further out than I was expecting. In trying to make a line between where the clocks point to and where the headlight would be, it's pretty much like on the faired Bandit, because I am going to have a little mini fairing on there. So it actually comes out quite a long way. But where I decided is the forward point is I don't want it any further forward than the front axle, because I think that's just going to look top heavy, and it will look a bit like the standard Bandit S, which has quite a big nose cone on it. So what I want to do now is just finish mocking up, and I'll show you where I am, and then let's get to some fabrication. Okay, so here we are. Right, so it's a bit jury rigged, and obviously I've taken the lens out because that's got all the weight in it, but this forms a line. Bear in mind there'll be a fairing, it'll come down here, so that should more or less clear the rim. The rim's about this big, so that's all about roughly in the right position. If I turn the forks, I have actually got quite a lot of space here, so it looks like I can probably go back to my original plan for construction. So I'm going to give that a go, but first of all there's a bit of preparation to actually create the mounting points to do this. I had originally envisaged using quite a big thick tubing, but I don't think there's space. The tube I was going to originally use is this, because I already made some tube mounts up, and the idea was that this would bolt into here as such, the bolt through there, and with the tube running back from there. And originally I thought this was going to be in here, and there wouldn't be enough room to get this size of tube around through here, but with it coming out this far I might just be able to do that. So I might go back to a much simpler design in a much heavier gauge tube. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment. So I'm going to have a look at the tube mounts I've already got and do a bit of mocking up. The first cut's made, so this now will need dressing so it actually fits, but as it stands that's a pretty good mitre. It just needs this shaping so that it will actually fit nicely. Well, I've got a long way to go yet in my construction and fabrication skills, but I reckon that's not too bad for this attempt. I haven't got that much of this tube, so I might end up having to order some more, because I'm bound to cock this up somewhere along the route and need to reuse some. Well, let's see. So stage one. Right, now it gets interesting, because now I start to make much more complicated cuts that can easily go wrong. Let's put it that way. Let's see what happens. Right, if we want to make this pipe level, we need to make sure we actually keep things level when we make new cuts. Otherwise it'll wobble up and down all over the place, and it's going to be difficult enough to get it to fit as it is, without introducing lateral variations. That means the headlight will sit skew if, well, it will anyway, but it'll sit even more skew if we don't get things level. Right, so this is the state of play. This is a bracket I've sort of mocked up using a tube joint and then cutting some tube so it sits at 45 degrees. Now I did originally mock it up with this, which sits at about the right level, but it was just a fraction too short. It's only tacked together, and these may not be the final pieces because I might need to maneuver and change things. I've started cutting the next tube, but what needs to happen now is that I need to check this again on the bike, and what I need to do is actually mark it up. Now I know the dimensions and I know this fits around the fork tube. What I don't know is whether this needs to be a bit longer so that it actually fits the headlamp bowl. So the next thing to do is to actually get a piece of cardboard and mark it up the center line, and make sure that I know where to put, because there'll be a cross tube that sits here that bolts to the headlight. So I need to know how far apart these are, so I've got to measure how far apart this and its mate will sit, bolt them all up, and just make sure that it's all square. And as I say, it may well mean remaking this, but at least I know that it works in principle. It's taken me quite a few hours to get here, because this sort of metalworking isn't something I do on a regular basis, and I'm working from guesswork, not doing it from plans, but I'm happy with the result, so I know where I'm going. So as I say, the next thing is to actually mark it out, measure it up, and do it properly.